Here's something I heard today that was piqued my interest. Someone made, I think it was Hirohei. Hirohei made a video stating that it's rumored that Elon Musk is going to buy Disney. And to watch Elon pry Disney out of the cold, dead hands of Bob Iger and everything he's done to destroy Disney and everything it stands for, I would love nothing more. I would love to, like, I don't like Elon, but the guy went into Twitter and fixed it. I know people are like, Twitter's awful now. Yeah, because now everyone's allowed to say what they want. There used to be insane censorship systems on Twitter. And not only did he switch them off, but he fired the team who were responsible for it. There was a lot of them. And he fired them all. So now right-wingers are allowed to say things, libertarians are allowed to say things, right-leaners, left-leaners. Everybody is now allowed to say what they want on Twitter, and that's why Twitter is a dumpster fire of constant conflict. As it should be, as he says, the town square of the world, with all of these people free of having physical ramifications for their opinions. Most of the time, people are allowed to express both sides of the spectrum all at once. So now the arguments are insane. Everybody's at each other's throats. That's what happened with Twitter. And I want to talk about Bluesky because I think Bluesky is part of the reason why the Democrats lost, to be honest. Bluesky is this self-appointed echo chamber for people who just want to be stupid. Bluesky, it's not the way to go. To shout your opinions without anybody questioning them or without anybody challenging them or without anybody correcting them, it's not good. You're going to have a very different idea of what the world actually is than if you just stayed on Twitter. That's where the conversation is. If the conversation's too difficult for you, then, don't be having it. Twitter is the most fair debate in the world. There's almost no censorship on there anymore. Everyone's allowed to talk. And I think, liberals and Democrats removing themselves from this very important dialogue to be in a nice, warm, wet, safe little hole that is Bluesky, I think is a terrible, terrible idea. You're running away. You're running away. You lost and you're running away. Stay in the conversation. Learn why you lost. Learn about your opposition or people you see as your opposition. Be part of the conversation. Take accountability for where you have f***ed up and why you lost, because you lost for a reason. And see how you can do better. See how you can be more compassionate. See how you can learn from people who think differently. Be part of that conversation. Running away to Bluesky it's the opposite of solving a problem. In fact, it's creating more. I posted on Twitter, I was like, what's the benefit of Bluesky? Because I wanted to hear someone actually say in so few words, like, oh, we wanted to find an echo chamber. And like I said, I don't like Elon Musk as an individual. I don't like him personally, but that doesn't matter. I don't have to agree with him. I do, however, like that he bought Twitter and he opened the floodgates for everyone to be allowed to talk about what they believe in, which is good. Yes, it is tough hearing someone have a different opinion to you, especially if you've been coddled by Twitter for the last 10 years, where you are not exposed to people who have wrong think, who have different ideals and different opinions and different upbringings, different backgrounds. This is my problem, because the liberal Democrats are always just like, oh, we're so accepting and open-minded and we accept everybody for the way they are. It's like, no, you evidently don't. I've never heard more vitriol, more racism, more misandry. I've never heard more intolerance in my life spewed by any particular demographic more than I have from Democratic voters on Twitter recently. The shit I've seen, man. The death threats, the open, barefaced, full-chest death threats. You really must have felt empowered to think you can say those things about people you just have a mild disagreement with. They've become authoritarian. It started with, it started with men, let's face it, but it started with the Israel shit. The anti-Semitism that was coming out of the left because they sided with the Palestinians, they felt so comfortable being anti-Semitic. It's like, that's not very open-minded. Whenever it comes to what was being said and what was being done, it was just Jewish people living, it was just Jews living in America, like going to work, being hassled. There's a video I saw recently of a coffee shop barista not allowing a Jewish woman, an Israeli woman, to use the bathroom in America. And they were just like, I know you think you can just take everything you want, and it's like, shut the up. Have some goddamn compassion. It's not all of them. It's not. But the compassionate left, the stuff they're saying about the Latinos who voted for Trump and the black demographic who voted for Trump, the racist shit they're saying, it's like, so it's not about diversity. It's not about inclusion. It's not about freedom for everyone and accepting everyone. It's those privileges only for those who agree with you. Because they're assuming that these demographics are with them, but they're not. So they turned their back. They got mad. They weren't like, I will respect the black vote. Maybe the Latino demographic, maybe they saw something we didn't. But we have to respect the minorities. No, they didn't say that at all. They're like, oh, I hope you get deported. You realize that there is a difference between immigrant and illegal immigrant, right? If they're illegally here, they won't get deported. It's crazy, man. I never thought I'd find myself agreeing with some of the ideologies that's represented on the right in the conservative, not right wing. I feel there is going to be a big conservative uprising over the next 8 years. I would not be surprised. 4 years is not enough to undo a lot of the shit that has happened. So I do think there's going to be a conservative successor to Trump in the next 4 years. I know Democrats and liberals. I know they're like, it's only 4 years, and then we'll vote and we'll get someone else in for us. And it's like, no, I don't think that's gonna happen. I think you're gonna get another Republican representative. But the longer they're in power, it's gonna go the same way. Like 8 years from now, like there'll be conservative ideologies and bad practices and corrupt systems everywhere, courtesy of, the conservative parties. It will be in a different position where, like, more liberal and Democrat ideologies are more important or are making more sense, are more central sounding than what's currently going on, and we'll swing back the other way. And then they'll go f***ing insane with power. It's the same. It's always the same. Everything's gonna... I think it's gonna be Vance as well, Merrick's. I've seen the guy talk, and he's younger and he's level-headed. I think he's going to win again. 4 years is not enough for this world to correct what has happened. But like I said, it's going to swing back the other way, and in 8 years, everyone's going to be like, oh, we need to have tolerance and all this kind of shit, because the Democrats will most likely have readjusted, and they'll start making more sense. It's always the same. It's always the same. This is why I don't take sides, because your side will always lose at some point. If you're strictly in the middle and you take issues as they arise, then you'll never be disappointed. Because you're the only person that actually makes sense. And I've said this before, I said this in a previous stream. The fact that people were surprised the Trump won, I was like, are you? Then we've both been looking at two very different versions of the US. It was not surprising at all. And the fact that there were a lot of liberals who were surprised, I'm like, this is exactly the problem with Bluesky and living in an echo chamber and being surrounded by media that accommodates your political ideologies. They're going to tell you everything's fine and that you're great and perfect and you're the good guys and you're the good guys and the good guys always win and prevail and everything's good. Shh, everything's good. You're fine. You're perfect. Your opinions are good. You have good opinions. You couldn't pull their head out of their own asses to listen to anything anyone else is saying in opposition to that, to learn anything. So when they were surprised, it's like, really? Because I've been listening to both of you. I've been listening to both of you talk. And to me, the outcome was obvious. And again, I don't like Trump as an individual, but that's fine. I don't need to. It doesn't mean I hate the guy. I don't hate anyone. But his character, his personality, him as an individual, it doesn't interest me. It's what he represents. I really don't care who it is, okay? It's what they represent. That's all I care about.